Oh, snap. It's time to yap. And I'm your host, Big C. And welcome to another episode of Just Yapping, episode number 19. I just wanted to talk about the military and little different options that you young folks out there, you young adults that are about to graduate high school. Maybe you're interested in doing it. Maybe you're not. I know parents out there, if you're listening to this, I know you're probably like, heck no, my daughter or my son not going into the military. But there are some really good options within joining the military, and I'll give you a few. Um, most of you out there didn't know, and your parents are like, I don't care if you join or I know, but it was if you join the military, I know there's been different times and all that stuff, but hopefully I can clear your mind and you can be like, all right, you can think about it. I hope. So I was in the United States Marine Corps about 20 plus years ago. And I wish I'd done it like most of my friends did right out of high school. Um, and I didn't. I waited till I was about 24, 25 years old to go. Um, but there were some things that I gained from it, especially that follows me now into my like older adult life. Respect, the way I walk, the way I talk, a structure of how I do things, certain different types of training that I have that I didn't know before or during high school, little advancements that you probably can get. And it's gonna sound weird, but it's like almost like favoritism. And it's only because those that you confront in life, especially those that own companies and stuff, they themselves were in the military, right? Or they love that command structure. Like, you follow the rules, you're going to do it this way, right? So, and again, the fire department loves it. The police departments love it. Companies love it. Computer companies love it. Aircraft mechanics love it. Helicopter mechanics love it. The reason is because they're doing the same exact jobs, but in the military, right? So this is basically for those who are really unsure, especially like if you're a fantastic athlete, right? And you know yourself that you're going to go to a super university and you're going to get the scholarship and you're going to do this and you could become professional. All power. I wish I was you. All power to you, right? Those who are scholastically like super duper smart, right? Academically, like some there are both, but there's some that are not athletic and there's some who are just super brain smart, and those are your doctors and those are your scientists and those, right? And guess what, they almost do the same thing in the military. So what if you were to combine those two, right? You can go to college, right? But the difference is that if you go to college, you can take that piece of paper that you wanted to become a nuclear signed, whatever, you join the military and you become an officer and you do that and you do all this other stuff. So there's different steps, right? So this is like a twofer, right? You kind of can't go wrong, because if you go to some people, and I know a lot of people who went to college and they have degrees, sad to say, they still don't have a job. Really, it's just they don't have the job. What if, I'm just saying, what if you take that piece of paper and you go into the military and you join the military, you come out and you can go to this program in the military called OCS, which is Officer Candidate School. Now, listen, I'm not a military recruiter. I'm just trying to, give some options out there for my young people out there who are kind of unsure what they want to do in their lives. There's so many different skills out there that you can learn, right? Not only in your future to build as you want to, and then hopefully retire in whatever you do and you become successful, but you can actually use those abilities in your own home and within your own life. Even if you don't have a family, right? There's a lot of things out there that, again, those companies love military personnel because they know that they're well structured. They know that they will be on time. They know that they will come presentable. And they know that you will do any tasks that they need from you, right? And usually that goes far. That really does, because that's one thing they know, and they're trustworthy, and those things go far in life. I am not a successful person, but the places that I work at now were mostly all military personnel, and the bosses love that. And in six years or so, I will retire, right? And I'll have those things underneath. I didn't retire from the military at 20 years. I only did like 6.5, 7 years. But I gained a brotherhood, sisterhood, right? Because we're all one. Whether from 1775, when the Marine Corps was established, till now, I can go by a Marine when I see him. I'll be like, just Semper Fi. Hey, Jarhead, what up? And that's it, right? And they know. Or you can speak to them in code. Hey, Staff Sergeant, what's going on? How are you, sir? And they know, just like the Marine personnel. The Army personnel, Navy personnel, right? Coast Guard and the Air Force. You guys go and you bump into each other, and you guys can start a whole conversation, right? Because you know one another. What's your MOS? Blah, blah, blah. If you speak to your normal Joe about it, hey, what's your MOS? They'll be like, what? They're lost because they don't know, because they weren't in it, right? There's so many different jobs out there, right? That a recruiter, like if you were to go to a armed forces recruiting station, there's so many jobs and job opportunities out there for those that are really unsure. Like if you're just, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone, but if you're an okay person, like okay average, and you don't get into trouble, and you don't do what you're not supposed to do and all this other stuff in life, and you're really just working your normal 9 to 5 job, and it's boring and blah 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 blah, so why not join the military? So I don't want to use this as an example, because to me it was something that we all went through and something that we learned. And unfortunately for some people, it wasn't great, because some lost a lot. Some continue to lose today. But it was something that we all went through. With COVID, right? With COVID, it was about 4 years that we all went through it, right? And it came and it went. So just imagine being in the military for 4 years. It went by so quick. So in those 4 years, you have an honorable discharge piece of paper from the military. Then you find something that you enjoy, especially if you were doing it in the military. You look for the same type job and you enjoy that. Guess what? They're going to be like, hey, you already have experience. You're smart. You have, you're disciplined. You have the walks, and you have the talks, and you have the look, and 1, 2, 3. That's a no-brainer. Be like, yeah, let's go. You're on board. Computers, police, fire, construction, doctors, lawyers, the JAG, all that stuff. All that stuff is in the military. Within helicopter pilots, all that stuff is in there, right? All that stuff. You just got to want it. If you really want to do it, if you're really not, again, if you're really just doing your 9 to 5 job and stuff, and you have the ability to do it, like, like a physical fitness ability to do it, you go to your local recruiter and say, hey, what do I do? I want to be this. You take a test called the ASVAB. I don't remember the acronym for it, but I know it's like some vocational battery test or something like that. And there's different types. It's almost like a mini SAT type thing. And it just goes into your skills, your mechanical, your mathematics, and your vocabulary and all that. It goes skills. And then you go through a certain bracket, and that certain bracket, that score will show you the categories and stuff and the jobs that are out there for you to pick under that score, right? And you go from there. So one thing that the military does, and I'm pretty sure they still do it, is called the Montgomery GI Bill, right? They give you the ability while you're serving your country to go to school. The thing is that you have to keep a certain GPA, grade point average, to keep that funding, right? They'll pay for your school, but you got to keep a certain GPA. So just imagine you're in the military, right? You don't, all right, let's rewind. You're working your 9 to 5 job. You really can't afford college, right? You join the military. You go to Japan, you go to wherever you are in the world, right? You get out or you do whatever you need to do and you go to college and you keep that grade point average, you get your degree. Guess what? You can either join and become an officer, go to OCS school and become brass, right? And get more money and be in charge of a lot of people like a big manager, or just get that degree, be a civilian, and then join like whatever job you were doing, get in there, and you're got there's it's a no-brainer again. Really, it isn't. Did I do that? No. The only reason why I didn't do that because I was in logistics. I was in the fourth mall, which is Marine Air Wing, right? And I really didn't, back 20, 30 years ago, we didn't have this. We didn't have this type of communication and stuff like that. It was always on telephone or written and stuff like that. And the communications were always not great. But that was no excuse, okay? I'm just using it, but I still had my respect, right? I still dressed a certain way. I walked a certain way. I talked, all this other stuff. Like in today's job, what I do and stuff, like they know I follow the rules because I'm a supervisor at my other job. I work 2 jobs. I'm a supervisor at my other job. So I make sure that my crew, make sure that they ate. Are you guys good? You're hungry? Everybody got food? Good. Anybody sick? Your feet hurt? You know, you have any issues, come talk to me and we'll settle it, or we'll talk, we'll go through it. That right there is a command structure, but it's also leadership, right? JJ did tie buckle for all your Marines out there. And it's a structure of things that they want you to understand, the leadership skills that you have. And I don't know if they still do it today, but I'm pretty sure. So in each rank that you go through, you up in money. Like when you get promotions, you get more. It's just like a job promotion. You get more money, and there's more opportunity. When you gain a family, they'll give you choices to get housing, loans. When you go shopping, you don't go to your civilian supermarket. You go to the PX, which is an exchange, like a military exchange store, and you go and things are cheaper. And it's just, and there's activities and there's local schools for the kids to go to while you're working. It's a community, but for the military period, right? And unfortunately, some have to go and protect us, and that's the main thing, because I know parents out there are probably like, I don't want my baby going into the military and stuff like that because of what's going on today. Yes, but if you think about it, you can go through 4 years without going through anything. Will you be in another part of the world? Probably. Could there be conflict in that part of the world? Yes. Will you be involved? Probably not, but who knows? It all depends on your job, right? Because you can be a United States Marine, and we always, mind you, we're all sharpshooters first. We're all shoot first, but not meaning shoot. I mean, that's what you're qualified to do first, is like you train that weapon. Not all, not in the military, they don't expect that from you, but you all have to defend yourself somehow, right? Does it sound horrible? Yes. But when you join the military, that's one thing you have to keep on your back burner. You may go one day. Is it frightening? Probably, but that's what you signed up for. You want to protect this country? Dude, listen, the United States of America is very fortunate that you don't have to be in the military at a certain age. Like when there's some countries out there that you have to be in the military at a certain age. If not, you peeling potatoes in prison or something. Honestly, we're very fortunate that they don't use our young adults in the military before they do anything else. We're just that lucky. So why not? Why not? They're giving you 3 hots and a cot, which in layman's term is 3 hots and a cot. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. A cot is a rack or a bed that you sleep on, right? You're getting paid on the 1st and the 15th of every month, depending on your rank, right? There's barbershops, there's supermarkets on base, there's all that stuff. And where can you go wrong? And you go and do a job that you enjoy doing, or You travel the world and see, like, I didn't travel the world when I was in, but I seen places that I never went to. How many of you out there, honestly, you went to Hawaii, right? You'd probably be like, I didn't go. I've been in Hawaii. California? I mean, California? No one? Things like that. You understand what I'm saying? North Carolina, South Carolina, like we did all East Coast. I didn't go over. It's just there was other things that happened that we weren't allowed to. Anyway, so but there's other things out there. There's other military places out there that you can go, especially like the Army and the Navy. And especially the Navy, you get onto a ship. You can go anywhere. You can go to Singapore. You can go to Japan. You can go to China. Well, not China, but you can go to you can go to places where you're Australia. You can go to different places because you're on a float. The only thing that stinks is that you're on there for a number of months at a time. But you go to different ports and you get off and you hang out and do whatever. So that can be a look for you, but don't push the military to the side, because that's just something that I was just throwing out there for you guys, especially you young adults that are about to graduate high school and you're really not sure what you want to do in life yet, because you're really not structured yet. And the military in certain ways have tuned it down a little bit. Why? I don't know, but I could say that it's probably because they don't have enough personnel to join the military, right? They need people. And I think that they toned it down a little bit because then that way they're like, hey, if your grades aren't so great and you don't have a GED or whatever, because I don't know how it works now, but they're like, all right, come on. You have tattoos, because I know in the military you weren't allowed to have tattoos below the elbow and you couldn't have anything on your face, on your neck, all this other stuff. But I mean, now I see that guys are sleeved out and all that other stuff. So I don't know if they got it after they were in the Marine Corps or in the military or in general. You still can't have anything on your neck or your face, or your hands. But the guys are sleeved out from the elbow to the thing. So it must have changed. So if they're doing that, why can't the entry be the same? You know what I'm saying? You're a good person, but he's sleeved out, or he or she are sleeved out. Bring him in. All right. And there's other things that are changing. I remember when I was in the Marine Corps, right? I went to Parris Island, South Carolina, right? And then we had two. We had San Diego, the Hollywood Marines, right? And we had us. San Diego's they trained all male Marines. Parris Island was 1st Battalion, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Battalion. The 4th Battalion were all females. There were platoons of females, battalion of females, right? That's it. Fast forward just a few years ago, from 1775 in the Marine Corps until maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, man, let's say like 2020, right? During COVID, they changed all of that. Now it's co-ed. Like now the Marine Corps changed. It's like male, female together. They did away with the 4th. I don't know why, but is it a big difference? No, because once a Marine, always a Marine. It doesn't matter male or female, as long as you do what you got to do and that's it, right? So that was a big change. And then with all these different, like entry level things to get into, your tattoos and, as long as you didn't kill anyone and freaking sneak into the Marine Corps and stuff, or any armed services and stuff, and then you're good. But like, if you minor traffic ticket and stuff like that, like, all right, you maybe had a DUI. I don't know. It all depends now. And I'm not saying, you go through a recruiter and you see what they say. Don't take it from me. I'm just letting you know, right? But if you are interested, give it a thought, man. It doesn't hurt. I wish. I'm saying I can backtrack, but be in the age I did when I joined the Marine Corps now, because I would have went to the top. We didn't have enough information that we do now. Now you can open up your phone and type in something and see it. And it's a world of a difference from when we went to boot camp till now, and the information was way, way different, because everything's changing. When everything changes, you have to adapt. You have to adapt and overcome. That's one thing that the Marine Corps brings, adapt and overcome. I'm only speaking about the Marine Corps kind of because I was in the Marine Corps. I don't know anything about the Army. I don't know anything about the Air Force, the Coast Guard. I don't know anything about the Navy. Well, we're a department of the Navy, but that's another thing. We were a department of the Navy, and we still are. And there's all different types of jobs. Don't ever second guess yourself. Yeah, no, just Again, you're going to look good in uniform, he or she. You're going to look fantastic in uniform because all the uniforms of all the armed services are fantastic. Well, not like the Marine Corps, but I'm saying in general, like it's all about respect and it's all about that flag, that American flag that's on your, that you, what you're representing, right? And people see you and people know, they're like, oh my God, did you see so and so? He or she, they look fantastic. Oh my God, what a 360 from how they used to have that little attitude and stuff until now. Oh my God, I didn't even know that was them, right? And that brings pride, right? That pride in within your family or within yourself, right? That's awesome. That's you want that. But then on another note, like you have to, you really got to be sure you want to do it because the military is not for everyone. It's what I'm trying to say is like they're gonna yell at you. They're gonna be in your face. They're gonna tell you get on the ground and push, and you don't want to push or put your face in the sand. And but that's what makes you. That's what makes you strong. That's what makes America today, right? I'm thankful, right, that I was able to join the military, come out, and not be as successful as I wanted to be, but I'm there, and I could always say that I'm a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Semper Fi. But then you know, there's all the things that I wish, man, I wish I would have done this. Man, I wish I would have done that. This, just the way it works. Now is your opportunity, right? And we're always thankful that we have service men and women all over the world protecting us every day. That's what people don't understand. It's a luxury. It's you have to love this country, right? Some people don't, and I get it. It's all about politics, and they don't take care of their servicemen and women when they return, and they don't have anything for them. But there's programs out there that when you're done, it's a transitioning to the military, that when you're done, you sign up to these courses and stuff, and they're like, hey, come work for me or go work for that guy. He's a former Army, and that's what they want. They want, once you get out, they want to transition you back into the company, do what you need to do. And that right there is successful because, and unfortunately there's some people that come out of there, not so well, but there's help, the VA. I've heard good and I've heard bad about the VA, about things that they're wanting to do. I have a really good friend of mine who I played college football with, and he and his wife and his family are coming up with these different psychedelic drugs and stuff like that are being approved by U.S. Congress and all that stuff to help those with PTSD and all that other stuff, those that have been in combat and like some really, really like, and it's been working. He's proven fact, and I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of the organization that they're putting together and stuff like that. But see, you can't think about that because that was something that happened years ago, and there's still guys that are going through it now, but that's something they chose to do. You know what I'm saying? And we're grateful that we had those men and women out there to do those things to keep us protected every day. And that's one thing you got to cherish. That's one thing, right? But on the lighter note, there's things out there that you're gonna be doing. You're gonna be on computers all the time, or flying drones, or you're gonna be fixing helicopters or airplanes, or constructing buildings, or putting things together. You're not gonna be around that, or fixing tanks, and you know what I'm saying. You're not gonna be around stuff like that. Can you? Maybe, but you're not. So I do the extension to like 23, 24 minutes and stuff like that. Again, I don't want to keep going on and stuff. But if you are interested in joining the military, I think you should give it a super, super thought about it. Especially because when you see don't be afraid to go up there and talk to them. Maybe they might tell you something that I didn't tell you because I'm not a recruiter, but something that you might want to hear, something that you're listen. I have a young lady that I work with. She's amazing in the computers. She came to me and she was like, "You in the Marine Corps?" I was like, "Yes." "What do you think I should do?" I was like, "What do you like doing?" She's like, "I love computers." I was like, "All right, go into the Air Force. The Air Force, you can do anything with the Air Force." That's because I think every military installation, not installation, but every military thing, group has like the Army. They all have separate things that you need to do. Like the Air Force is about planes and computers and drones, and the Army is about weaponry and tanks and all that other stuff. And, the Marine Corps is just nitty gritty and all that other stuff. I don't want to get into that. But if you're interested, go and knock on the door to the recruiter of your choice and chit chat, see what happens, see what they have in store for you, and see where you're going to be in the next 4 years. Put it out there on the table and see where you could be while you're in the military, see what difference, right? And they're gonna love it. And you go from there. You pick your own, you pave your own road for your future. But it would be nice to see more respect out there and more younger people in uniform and things of that nature. All right. So I think that's my time. Please, if you get the opportunity on TikTok or YouTube, comment, like, and subscribe to my page. All right. Be safe out there. I'm Big C. Peace.